All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for the first press conference of Roshan Group Live Golf Riyadh here at Riyadh Golf Club as we open the 2026 Live Golf season. We're pleased to be joined by the defending Live Golf Riyadh team champions, Legion 13 with Captain John Rahm, alongside Tyrrell Hatton and Tom McKibben. Just before we start, we'll open with a few questions from the stage before opening the floor up to media. My colleague Yassine will translate any questions to the players and their responses as well. When we open it up, please just raise your hand and state your name and outlet, and we'll get a microphone across to you. All right, let's get into it. John, Legion 13 returned this week to Riyadh as the defending team champions. How does it feel to be returning here, and how important was your victory last year to set the tone early on in the season for you guys?
Well, we've been able to win the first event of the year the last 2 years, so hoping to make it 3 in a row. It's always hard to say what sort of tone is set. You know, first week of a year, it's great to start off with a great win, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be a great year, right? Regardless, so it's a great way to start, but it doesn't really change how you approach the rest of the year. Very excited to be here, very happy to be here. So we can look forward to. I had a lot of fun last year playing at night, and I'm hoping to do as well as I did last year again.
Tyrrell, there's been plenty of player movement across the league this off-season. We've had new signings, trades, several teams taking on new identities. Legion 13 remains unchanged this year in terms of the lineup. Does that continuity reflect the success that you had last year, and how do you build on a great 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we as a team are very strong across the four, and winning the team championship last year sort of proved that, and nothing needed to change in our team. So yeah, obviously we've stayed the same, and hopefully we can win again this season.
And Tom, you made your Live Golf debut here this time last year. 1 year on, how would you reflect on your first full season in the league? And what do you think about some of the new talent that's joined this season? Do you see the standard of competition getting higher this year?
Yeah, obviously last year was a very successful year. I think sort of individually and as a team, it couldn't get much better. So I think sort of going out through all last year and getting to know everybody a little bit more and play together was very good. I think from this year and the new guys that have came, I obviously know some of them and don't know some of them. So yeah, I think definitely they've got some good signings and definitely getting it a little bit stronger.
Good stuff. I think we'll start with a few questions from Mike first. Hisham, could you just get a mic here?
So what's the key of being successful in night golf, Tyrrell?
Hit and hope, like every other week. Well, we've got a couple of days to get adjusted to it. I think for the most part, everyone dealt with it pretty well last year. I know there was a few guys that had some issues with. They use like black irons, so that created an issue for them. But I think for the majority of us, it wasn't too much of a problem. So yeah, it's just a case of getting used to the night golf, and we've got a couple of days to do that, and it'll be good fun.
Do you prep? Like, do you play night golf somewhere else before coming here?
No, I mean, I guess I could turn the lights down in the studio at home, and that would be the only chance I've got to do that. But I didn't do that last week.
John, same question. Well,
I wouldn't say night golf is very accessible, but luckily we have a golf course in Phoenix that does it. There's a few night ranges, but grass clippings, that's half a lit up par 3 course, right? So they already played a league there as well. And on Wednesdays they have a pretty fun skins game. So it's something that I've done in the past but it's hard because that doesn't really translate, right? You're not really hitting long irons. It's mainly short. Teeing it up, the driver, with what he just said, usually most drivers, it's a darker face. If the light pole is behind you or to the right, those shadows, they creep over the ball. So there's little nuances that you get used to fairly quick, but the first time, you just, okay, it's a little bit of a surprise, right? Because if your shadow's casting over the ball, it's a dark shadow. So and the awareness of where the club face is related to the ball can be a little tricky, but once you get over that, it's actually quite fun.
How about reading putts?
I think the greens are the best lit part of all the course. There's usually more than enough light around it. I think just the shadows in itself, if you're somebody that naturally relies on seeing the shade on the greens and the shadows, it's going to be a little tricky because it's not a realistic look. But overall, based on the scores last year, I think we did all right. As a league, we did pretty good. It's again, after a few days, you kind of start getting used to it.
And Tom, as Will mentioned a year ago, it went fast and furious for you right at the start of the season. How much more relaxed do you feel going into this year?
Yeah, probably a little bit more relaxed. I think sort of coming in, my first event being at night. Obviously, there was a lot of things different. The warm-up was so different. So I didn't really know how it was going to go. Obviously, as the year progressed, I got more used to it, and it became sort of the new normal. So I think this year I'm definitely a little bit more relaxed, and albeit it's been a long time since we last played. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Did you have to adjust your sleep patterns last year?
Yeah, big time. It's weird getting up at 9:30, 10 in the morning, and going to bed very, very late. Sleep patterns are weird. Eating dinner at midnight's weird. Everything's weird.
And I did want to ask you too about you're still a young guy. We've got other young guys coming into the league. Like, what piece of advice would you give, say, Michael Lasasso, who's just turned pro? This is his first event. You've been out here. What kind of advice would you give him?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, lean on some of the past people that you've, like, obviously the captains. Phil's great. I think sort of knowing John and Terrell here as well, for me, definitely made that a lot easier, and any sort of questions or trying to feel a little bit more comfortable, definitely made my life a little bit easier. Again, I don't really know what advice. Obviously, it's very new. I'd played a couple of years of pro golf before, so I was a little bit more used to it. But yeah, I think sort of the experience is so different, and I think as a young person, it's quite enjoyable that it's different, and maybe something that's more our age's sort of vibe or whatever. So I'm sure he'll get used to it very quickly.
Did you try to pick Terrell's brain at all last year? Or is that even possible?
I don't know. I feel like I spent a good bit of time with Terrell, and we played a little bit of golf over in England, sort of before some of the events. And I mean, it's been great to spend time. I mean, he's so funny and a phenomenal golfer. I mean, I think it's hard because I think maybe stuff that I could ask him, he wouldn't have a clue what he's doing or how to describe it. So I've probably learned more from just watching him rather than asking him stuff.
Is that how most people, young people, approach you?
Scared to ask me things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good at describing stuff, so if it's anything golf related, yeah, I probably wouldn't be so good at that. John, on the other hand, would be a lot better.
Do we have any more questions in English? And then, Andy, can you bring the mic? Just say thanks.
First one. Hello. Yes. Right. First one's for everyone. Would you like to see more night golf across the schedule, or are you quite happy with it being a one-off?
For me personally, I'm happy it's a one-off, and it's fun to experience it, and it's create something different. But yeah, I'm happy that it's only once a season.
You need to be in the right place to make night golf work properly, and to be able to design a course and then have the lights on the right way, because all cables need to be on the ground. It's not the easiest thing to do. I enjoy it, but I would start to say where if you were to have one example being Adelaide next week, then you start having quite a few fans on the golf course at night. Not everything can be lit. I think it could become a liability eventually. So I don't know if you can really pull it off.
John and Tyrrell, as former PGA Tour members, I just wondered if I could get your thoughts on Patrick Reed's decision to depart Liv and his return, it was imminent return to the PGA Tour.
I think each one is going to do whatever it thinks is best for them. And at this point, just wish him nothing but the best of luck. Hopefully it all goes well. We're free to choose where we want to play golf. At least that's how it should be. And yeah, he's made his choice. Obviously, nothing really against him. He's been playing fantastic golf, and if he wants to go back, he should have the chance to do so.
I don't really have too much more to add on that, other than, I mean, he was out of contract, and he had options and decided that for him to move forward, he wanted to go back and play on the PGA Tour. So that's his choice, and sure, he's an amazing player, and if he was playing on Liv still, he makes the league stronger. But he's chosen his path, and like John said, you can only wish him the best moving forward.
And finally, there's been some reports over the weekend about the DP World Tour and possible agreements with players that there would be no fines issued for the 2026 season if releases were granted. Can I just have your side of the story on that, guys? Like, it seems that the players are negotiating directly with the tour or talking directly with the tour about the issue. Particularly, John and Tyrrell as Ryder Cup players is obviously particularly important for you, and Tom as a player that wants to play in the Ryder Cup in the future. Can you just give your insight on where you see things with the PGA Tour, with the DP World Tour for this season?
Here we go. I personally would say I don't know too much about the matter. Obviously, I think at first managers are going to be taking care of that early on. I don't know what the negotiations look like. Obviously, they're going to players individually to make different deals. So I don't know what it may be or what it's going to look like, but I'm happy to see they're looking for a path forward for Liv players to be able to play in both tours and not to get penalized. I think the example of players like Tom or David Puig, who's now a winner in the European Tour, who just chose their best path possible as young players, shouldn't be penalized because of the politics of the game. So the fact that they're looking at a positive way to figure it out, I think it's only good for us, and I think it's good for the DP World Tour as well.
Again, not much more to add than what he's just said. It sounds positive, so if things are moving in the right direction, that's good for golf, and yeah, we'll let other people figure that out, and we'll just focus on playing golf this week.
Same as the two guys. Yeah, I mean, they both summed it up pretty perfectly.
Great. Do we have any more questions in English, or just one over here?
For John, or the whole panel, if you could just speak about how you feel about the change of format to 72 holes this season, how that changes things for you, or how you feel about it in general.
I'm happy about it. I would say I was one of the people that pushed for it. So yeah, obviously I'm happy about it. I think the more golf we play, the better for the stronger teams and stronger players, and I think it would benefit us both of us for individuals and as a team as well.
If that's everything in English, we'll move on now to the Arabic questions. الزميلات والزملاء العالميين الكرام، أهلا وسهلا بكم في المؤتمر الصحفي الأول الخاص بفريق ليجن 13 ضمن بطولة ليف جولف مجموعة روشن 2026. الأسئلة الآن مفتوحة ومتاحة لكم، ففي حال رغبتكم لسؤال تقديم سؤال تفضل إبراهيم.
إبراهيم الطلاسي من مجلة الرجل. رياضة الجولف معروفة ما هي من الرياضات الشائعة عندنا في السعودية، لكن بالنسبة للنسخ السابقة ودي أسألهم كيف كانت تجربتهم مع الجمهور السعودي، وهل تشوفون في اهتمام متزايد يعني برياضة الجولف عندنا هنا أكثر من السابق أو لا؟ شكرا لكم.
شكرا إبراهيم. This is Ibrahim from Rajul magazine. He would like to hear from you guys about your experience last year here at Live Golf Riyadh, and how was the fan experience overall?
One of you to take this one. One of you to go first. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, it was obviously my first live event, so I obviously didn't really know what to expect too much. Obviously, it being at night, it made for a cool first experience. Something that I really enjoy playing under the lights. Something very different, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think obviously it's very new. I don't think any other golf event had been played in the dark, and it was pretty cool to be a part of. I think just the whole difference from what I was used to on playing sort of normal sort of golf. Made for a cool week, and definitely made me look forward to this event quicker. But yeah, so it was a fantastic week.
Thank you, Tom. If you allow me just to give them a brief summary. الإجابة كانت من توم ماكيبن أحد أعضاء فريق ليجن 13 بأنه كانت أول تجربة له على الصعيد الشخصي، كانت أول بطولة يشارك فيها، وكانت أيضا أول بطولة تعتبر تقام منافساتها في الفترة المسائية، فكانت تجربة مختلفة بالنسبة له على الصعيد الشخصي، واستمتع باللعب مع أعضاء فريقه الجدد في ذلك الحين، وكانت التجربة بشكل عام مميزة في نظر توم ماكيبن.
السلام عليكم. خلف الكويكي بصحيفة اليوم. سؤالي للسورات، أفضل مركز له على المستوى الفردي كان تقريبا 33. هل بعد مشاركته في بطولة الرياض ممكن يتوقع قفزة كبيرة في الترتيب؟
سؤالك لمين بالتحديد؟ بس لأنه
سورات.
لا ما هو موجود هنا.
مش موجود؟
إيه.
طيب اللايف جولف تحت الأضواء الكاشفة، وش اللي يفرق بين الأضواء الكاشفة وفي النهار؟ أي أصعب بالنسبة لهم؟
This is Khalaf al-Quakib from al-Yom newspaper. He'd like to hear from you guys about the main difference, in your opinion, about playing at night and playing in the morning.
I think we touched on it a little bit in English. There's an adjustment you need to do because we're playing in the daylight. The closer you get to the green, you rely on shadows and how obviously the light reflects on different slopes on the greens. But I'll say the main challenge is sometimes you get a little unlucky with where the light source or the main light is and where your body's positioned, where the shadow's casting, where usually you don't pay attention because it's not very dark, but obviously playing at night, that the shadow can be a little darker. And then the longer clubs that have a black face, right? If you get in a situation like that, it's a little trickier to gauge where the club face is respect to the ball. But besides that, the rest is pretty much the same. It's just little nuances that you probably never think about until you try it.
Thank you, John. الإجابة كانت من جون رام قائد الفريق بأن الفرق الأساسي في نظري هو فيما يتعلق بالظل. عامل الظل هو عامل رئيسي وأساسي في الجولف الذي تقام منافساته في الفترة المسائية. يجب على اللاعبين التعامل مع هذا العامل بشكل جيد حتى يستطيعوا ويتمكنوا من تسديد الضربات بالشكل الأنسب. فبشكل عام وصورة عامة عامل الظل هو أهم عامل في الفترة المسائية. أي سؤال آخر يا أخوان؟
John, if I could just, I'll not ask in Spanish, but if you could respond in Spanish to a couple of questions just on the event this week. So we're returning here as you are the defending champions. Can you just explain how important your victory was here for setting up your season and going into Adelaide, the importance of getting off to a fast start for you guys as you look to defend your team title?
Bueno, empezar el año ganando siempre es bueno, ¿no? Llevamos ya 2 años seguidos con la victoria en el primer torneo del año, el inaugural, así que con ganas de ojalá hacerlo 3 seguidos. Es buena moral para el equipo, pero no sé si hace mucho, ¿no?, de cara a cómo vas a afrontar el resto del año. Igual te quita un pequeño peso de encima, pero no hay diferencia en cómo llegaríamos a Adelaide o a cualquier otro torneo, ¿no? Que lo bueno que es ganar siempre y empezar el año ganando, no, digamos que no dicta el resto del año. No quiere decir que vaya a ser bueno o malo, simplemente es lo que es. Así que con ganas de desear suerte hacerlo otra vez bien y seguir jugándolo bien como hemos hecho en los últimos 2 años.
And then final one, there's been a lot of changes with some of the team lineups this season. Legion 13 staying the same this year. Does that reflect some of the success that you had? Or, you know, has there been any changes that you guys have incorporated into the season, given some of the other teams' changes?
Obviamente hemos jugado muy bien, así que después de ganarlo todo, no, a mí como capitán no me quedaba duda de que íbamos a mantener el equipo. Son 3 buenos amigos ya con un muy buen ambiente cada semana que no hace falta cambiar. Somos 4 jugadores muy buenos y yo diría que los 2 jóvenes en Tom y Caleb cada vez mejores, ¿no? Tom obviamente ha conseguido grandes cosas, pero Caleb cada vez se ve que va mejorando y una trayectoria muy buena, así que considero que si todo va bien y los 2 seguimos, como yo y Terry, seguimos jugando como hasta ahora, puede que seamos incluso mejores los siguientes años, así que no vi ninguna razón de hacer ningún cambio y muy contento con lo que tenemos ahora.
John, Tyrrell, Tom, thank you very much for your time. Play well this week.